How does Salvador Dali start his day?
How?
With a bowl of cereal.
Oh my gosh, I totally love that.
Hungry Squared, bringing you the best food talk anywhere.
Welcome to the Hungry Squared podcast, where the brain and belly meet. I'm Sharon from the Wasatch Cooking Guide.
And I'm Winter from theredparty.com. This week, we are talking about the popcorn.
Pop, pop.
Oh yeah, it's going to be so tasty. Let's talk about it.
You're looking for Hungry Squared, yeah, Hungry Squared.
Hello, Sharon.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good.
Yeah, it snowed finally.
It did. It feels like it's actually winter here in Utah.
Yeah. If you live in Utah, you know that we're probably recording on Saturday before this episode comes out. And it's beautiful outside.
It is. It's really nice. The roads aren't icy. The plows are
On top of it.
Yeah, they're in full force because they've probably been bored.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, seriously. They haven't had anything to do this winter.
No, it's been really weird because the southern United States has been hit by a lot of snow.
Yeah.
All my friends.
Florida.
In Florida, Louisiana, Georgia,
North Carolina,
Alabama, Texas, they're all getting snow. And they're all complaining about it online. And they're like, what is this stuff? We, can't get to work and school's been canceled. And some of them are loving it. But here it has been just, 40 degrees and hanging out.
Kind of a sad little ski season and snowboarding season.
Yeah, it has been sad so far, but hopefully this major storm has
brought some stuff in.
Yeah.
We're in the middle of Sundance too, everybody.
Yeah.
Sundance Film Festival. It's good fun. I'm sure all the people from LA are hating it.
Or loving it because, they all dress up in their weird,
fuzzy,
fur,
outfits.
fuzzy stuff. Yeah, so maybe they can break that out finally because, last week you couldn't.
Nope, not at all. You'd be wearing shorts and a t-shirt. Sharon, did you eat anything fun this week or bad or good or ugly?
I ate steak tacos.
Ooh.
And they were good. We repurposed. We didn't reuse food because it was already used. Or that sounds weird.
Used it for a second meal.
We repurposed our leftovers.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
We had ribeye steaks on Sunday.
Oh, I love the ribeye steak.
Yeah, it was good. Costco was having a great deal and they were really marbled and pretty. And so we got steaks for us and the boys. And they, of course, loved it. And then we had a bunch of leftovers because they were really large steaks. And so we had probably what looked to be a little over a pound left. And so
it's pretty good.
Yeah.
That was a lot of steak.
It was Costco. It was a good deal.
That's true.
So Ike cut that up into really small bite-sized pieces and he had already cooked them really rare.
Okay. Originally.
So they were a cross between rare and medium rare. Not quite medium rare though. And so they were delicious and just so tender. And then he threw them in the pan to heat it back through with some Penzeys taco seasoning.
Penzeys taco seasoning.
My favorite.
Good stuff.
And they were delicious. So we had kind of tasted like carne asada street taco type thing without, it wasn't quite that way, but it was similar.
Fun though.
Quick hack that way.
Yeah. If you have
really
leftovers, you definitely can think about using them for a new dish.
Yeah.
Making them a little different. Yeah. Good idea.
What did you eat this week?
So we went out and grabbed a bite to eat this week at a place called Sushi Burrito.
Ooh.
Okay, so
tell me about Sushi Burrito.
So Sushi Burrito is a little shop, and I have only eaten there once. And actually, I didn't technically eat there. Somebody did take out, and I was kind of wanting some sushi yesterday, but I didn't really feel like sitting down and waiting for the full-on, the sushi presentation. It's very beautiful and well presented. I just wanted to have sushi, just kind of quick. But I didn't want to go to lead jokes to the 7-Eleven and get some sushi.
Yeah, that might make you sick.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, Lee, have you been to Sushi Burrito? And he's like, no, I haven't. Let's give it a try. So we went in there and looked at the menu, and they had quite a good little menu there. It's really quite extensive. And for those who don't know what it is, it's basically a giant sushi roll, almost the size of a burrito. And
so it isn't in a tortilla.
No, it's in rice paper.
Okay. Good to know. Good to know.
Yes. Sorry, I should have. So it's basically sushi. And my beef with when I first originally ordered it was like, is it going to be good? Is there going to be a good ratio? Or I feel like there's going to be too much rice to all the stuff.
Yep.
Right.
That's always
when you're
worry.
Yeah. Especially when you're dealing with the size of a burrito. Right.
Right. And like, it's the same with all those all-you-can-eat sushi places.
Yeah.
They load up on the rice and then give you like a tiny bit of fish and cucumber in the middle. It's terrible.
That's what I had the beef with. But when I first had it, it was really good. And I was like, they actually put a lot of stuff in there. So I was like, Lee, you should try this. So I had remembered trying something, but I couldn't remember the name of it. But I remember there was one of them didn't have any fish at all, any raw fish. It just had like a beef or a steak or something like that. And so there was one called the Yummy Chef's Burrito, which is grilled teriyaki beef and then has lettuce, tomato, green onion, carrot, cucumber, avocado, and eel sauce. I'm just reading it off their menu.
I love eel sauce.
And so Lee and I shared, of course. So he ordered something called the hamachi, and that has yellowtail with tobiko in it. So that's the fish eggs. Mm-hmm. Avocado, lettuce, cucumber, roasted corn, wasabi mayo, and eel sauce. So that's what he got.
Sounds delicious.
Yeah. I will say that I was a little disappointed with mine.
Oh, no.
Because it kind of felt like it needed some more fat. I don't know if that makes any sense. The teriyaki beef was very lean.
Mm-hmm.
And it felt like it needed some fat in it. And I know there was avocado in it, but
Needed a better mouthfeel?
Yeah. I'm not totally sure. It just didn't have as much flavor as I was expecting. And maybe I needed more eel sauce. Maybe that was all I needed. And that's what Lee concluded too, because we split ours in half. And then his hamachi one though was amazing. It was like that was the one that it wasn't the one that I remember, but I was like, this is really good. Like all of the flavors came together really nicely. The fish was really good. And that corn, that roasted corn was like, oh, this is delightful. Like who puts corn in sushi? And so they're just doing kind of some fun stuff. If anybody's been there and can recommend something different for me to try next time, I'll try it. Because I do like it. I like it. I just think that was probably not the one I was expecting in my head. And I was maybe disappointed because of that.
Dang.
It was fine.
Yeah.
But it wasn't
awesome.
Yeah. It just didn't live up to what I was hoping for. So.
Okay.
But sushi burrito, give it a try. And if you're in Utah, I wonder if they have any other ones around.
I think it's a chain.
Oh. Well, I'll post a link in the show notes. Give it a try, or if you like it or not, and give me a shout out so I know, because I think it's good. They have good ratio of rice to stuff. That's the key.
Nice.
Good ratio.
And now for the main course.
Let's get down to our topic at hand, which is popcorn.
Popcorn. Why did we decide on this topic?
I decided on this topic.
That's right.
So every night after, we eat dinner and then we're kind of hanging out and playing games we play a lot of board games at our house.
Yeah.
And so weeknights we'll play Exploding Kittens or
that's a fun game.
We played the Donner Dinner Party.
Oh my gosh. Are you kidding me?
Did I tell you about that?
No, you didn't tell me about that.
It's board game. It's
oh my gosh.
So there's
do you just try not to get eaten?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
That's exactly him. So
oh my gosh.
There's a little frying pan token to decide which round you're in and stuff like that. But basically, depending on how many people play, I think it can have up to 10 players or something. And as little as 4. So we have 4 players usually, it's just the 4 of us. So there's a camp leader and then there's pioneers and a cannibal.
Oh, geez. And nobody knows who the cannibal is?
Correct. When you've got 4 players. If you get more, there's more cannibals that you can add.
Oh.
So it's kind of like...
is it like
a
Clue?
Campfire? It's like a campfire game we play, which is like werewolves. I think it's just called werewolves or something.
Oh, yeah. You're just trying to guess who
the cannibal is before you get voted out to be eaten.
Oh, yes. Okay.
So you get
totally makes sense.
Yeah, you can get voted out of the game. And when you get voted out of the game, metaphorically, the rest of the party is eating you.
That is so morbid, you guys. I'm like, this is a food podcast and I was not expecting to talk about this at all. I don't know how popcorn ties into this at all.
We eat popcorn while we're playing games.
Oh, okay. Okay, but I kind of see where that's coming from.
Ike and the boys are crazy about popcorn. They love it. I will only eat it if I go to the movies and somebody else gets it, and I'll take out all of the super saturated buttery pieces. Ike is kind to me and lets me do that sometimes.
Oh, that's good.
But I really just like maybe 1 to 2 handfuls of the really buttery pieces, and that's it.
Then you're good.
I'm done.
I love popcorn.
Yeah.
Lucy loves popcorn. She will eat a lot of popcorn.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. So lots of nights at home, you will find us playing board games of some sort. The Donner Dinner Party, Oregon Trail,
Oh my goodness.
Exploding Kittens, and the like.
We just play Settlers of Catan or like Ticket to Ride. Ours does
we
not.
play Ticket to Ride sometimes.
We'll post a link of these games in the show notes because they are fun, you guys.
They are really fun. And the Donner Dinner Party is actually really fun because you're trying to lie to each other as to whether or not you're a cannibal and like kind of create a case. And
gosh.
It's funny.
Oh my gosh.
The boys are terrible liars. So,
So you're like, cannibal.
Yeah.
Right away.
Christian got the cannibal card we played 3 rounds one night and he got it every single time.
Oh, are you serious?
Just funny. But while we play board games, we eat popcorn. And so Ike suggested that we do a popcorn episode.
I do love popcorn. And you know what? I think this has actually been on our list, sort of. It's kind of just been at the back of our list ever since we went to Alton Brown, Eat Your Science.
Yeah. And he did the popcorn rocket.
Yep. And if you haven't seen that tour, that's a bummer. I think there may be a couple of more shows. I'm not totally sure, but you can just check him out, but Alton Brown online. But yes, his final experiment that he did involved, I don't even know how tall that popcorn rocket was.
Oh, over 10 feet.
Easily, if not
15, 20-ish.
Yeah.
Something.
And he popped a lot of popcorn and shot the popcorn out.
Yeah.
At the audience.
Yeah, you got sprayed, didn't you?
Yeah, you did too. Like I think all of us got sprayed because we were really kind of close to the front.
Yeah.
It was super fun.
Yeah.
So that has always been on the back of my list of things that, because it's fun science. So, but there's some really fun history too about popcorn. I didn't realize it was that old.
Yeah, I didn't either. I mean, you
Corn
think about corn. Corn is old. Maize is old, right? But the popcorn variety of maize was domesticated by pre-Columbian people around 5,000 BC.
Yeah.
Or so.
I couldn't believe that. I was like, wow.
It first arrived in the American Southwest, like what's now considered the U.S. type of thing, over 2,500 years ago. In Mexico, they have found some popcorn remnants that date back to about 3,600 BC.
Wow.
In modern history, it started to gain traction in the U.S. in the 1820s.
Why in particular? Was there a reason why?
I don't think so. I think it was just kind of people
were discovering
like you can pop the corn type of a thing. Henry David Thoreau wrote something in his journal about popcorn, and Harold Mickey has a little blurb about it in his book on food and cooking. And in midwinter of 1842, Henry David Thoreau wrote in his journal, "I've been popping corn tonight, which is only a more rapid blossoming of the seed under a greater than July heat. The popped corn is a perfect winter flower. By my warm hearth spring these cerealous blossoms. Here was the bank where they grew."
Oh my goodness.
How poetic.
That was beautiful.
So yeah, it became a popular snack in the 1800s. Cracker Jack.
Cracker Jack.
Yep, that was created in the 1890s, and that consisted of popcorn, molasses, and peanuts.
Yes.
Now it's more kind of a caramely substance.
Yeah.
The majority of corn that's grown in the U.S. is genetically modified, but they haven't genetically modified the type that is for popcorn. So it's non-GMO.
Really?
Yeah. So you can rest easy about that. I don't know.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. So they haven't genetically modified it.
They've
yet.
not needed to do that because of these particular brands or types of corn.
Mm-hmm. So people like Henry David Thoreau popped popcorn in their fireplaces and on their stoves and things like that. They did it by hand, just kind of roasting the stuff over the fire in a skillet with lard or something like that. Charles Creeters is the one who invented the large-scale popcorn machine, and he started his company in 1885, which is the C. Creeters Company.
Good job, Charles Creeter.
And the Sea Creators and Company, and it's based in Wooddale, Illinois, and to this day is still owned by the Creators family.
That's good. Do they hold the patent? Do you know?
I don't know. So I read a lot about his patents and stuff like that, and it didn't say anything about them expiring.
Okay.
So I don't know.
Okay.
His machines were very specific though, so I don't know if they necessarily own the patents to things like the air poppers and stuff like that you see.
Oh yeah, air poppers are a totally different story because didn't he have a very specific
So his first machines were based on a steam engine.
Oh, it was?
Yeah. They were kind of dangerous because steam engines back then were dangerous. But then around the turn of the century, he invented a popcorn machine that had an electric motor.
Oh, okay.
Because electricity was the wave of the future.
Yes, it was.
So that's pretty cool. His was the first machine that could pop the popcorn uniformly in its own seasonings, which made a big difference.
Right, because I suspect if you're doing it over by hand, you have to be very consistent of kind of moving it around in order to get a good pop on all of those kernels.
Right. And popcorn was a popular treat in movie theaters and things like that. And at the beginning, that was much to the dismay of theater owners. These popcorn vendors would be in the street and would sell their wares on the street, and people would bring them in. And then the theaters would smell like burnt popcorn because it was very hard to pop the corn uniformly. And so that's why Charles Creeder's machine was so important, because some kernels were like, whenever anybody popped corn, you always got burnt stuff, but you still ate it because it was good. Yeah. But his had a uniform pop, and that was just amazing. His machines around 1900 also became smaller. So he had these smaller than obviously an electric motor, smaller than a steam engine type thing. He also was the one who had the first horse-drawn carriages that had the popcorn machines on them.
Oh.
You see those old kind of pictures with the horse-drawn carriage and a big popcorn type thing on the back of it. Yeah, that was him.
That's fun.
So during the Depression, popcorn became a quote-unquote affordable popular snack. It was still about 5 to 10 cents a bag, which back then was, in talking to my grandparents, who have been gone for they passed away 12 or 13 years ago. But in talking to them when I was younger, 5 to 10 cents was still quite a bit for their families.
Yeah, I was about to say that's probably a little bit of pocket change that you may not have.
Right. But it still did become popular in the Depression to snack on, and became actually a good source of income for some farmers.
Oh, they ended up growing it and popping it?
Right.
You know, I suspect that kind of makes sense, because even though popcorn that was a little bit more expensive of a treat, it still was probably less expensive than some of the other things, especially during the Depression, right? Didn't you say it around the Depression time? People probably couldn't get candies or those things readily.
I think there was probably always like the penny candy.
Right.
But like chocolates and things like that.
Kind of a little bit nicer things.
And the bags that we're talking about aren't those little, like a small movie theater bag necessarily. That would have been 5 to 10 cents. It would have been a large bag.
Nice. Okay.
During World War II, sugar rations diminished the candy supply quite a bit in the U.S.
So there you go.
And popcorn, again, experienced a spike in popularity because Americans started consuming about 3 times as much popcorn as they did before World War II.
Oh, man.
So that was quite a bit. I don't have an exact number on that.
We Americans love to snack, apparently. Yeah. We need our snacks.
My sources for my research were from Wikipedia, PBS Food, Harold McGee, and a couple other places. So they didn't give, and a couple of weird random like studies and stuff like that I read, but they didn't give a number on that. It was just 3 times as much popcorn as before.
Oh, gotcha.
In 1938, though, this guy named Glenn Dixon made a huge impact in our popcorn world.
How?
He owned a movie theater. He owned several meaning more than one, I guess. And he decided to install popcorn machines in his theaters.
Oh.
And with that, he installed a little bit different ventilation in the theater, so the theaters wouldn't retain the burnt popcorn smell. Mm-hmm. And he made a lot of money.
Oh, I am sure he did.
A lot of money.
Okay, because I'm going to just tell you this right now. the smell of popping popcorn, not burnt popcorn, mind you,
Mm-hmm.
but popping popcorn, just that initial smell is so lovely.
It is,
So lovely.
with a caveat.
I have a funny thing about that too.
Not
later.
when you go into your work, which is an office building,
Oh, yeah.
many stories high, right? And you smell the acrid scent of microwave popcorn, cheap microwave popcorn at about 9 a.m.
Oh, 9 a.m. What the heck?
Woof. And whoever is at my office building,
who's doing that?
you know who you are. I'm watching you. I don't know where you sit
9
yet
in the morning.
because I walk through this sea of cubicles to get to my area,
Mm-hmm.
which isn't, I mean, I still kind of sit in a cubicle, but it's a different size and it's different configuration.
Mm-hmm.
But this weird sea of cubicles, so I can't tell who it is. It's like, because all these people look the same and stuff. Just all these cubicles and stuff look the same. And I just see people's backs. But I know it's somebody in there.
Oh my
I know
gosh.
it is.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
Anyway, so Glenn Dixon made a huge impact because he got a huge profit from selling popcorn in his movie theaters. Other theater owners started to notice.
That's
And
so interesting.
So from 1938, this set a trend to have popcorn at movie theaters.
So he
He's
noticed.
the guy that set the trend. People were already bringing it in.
Right.
And so he decided that he would just provide it
And sell it.
and sell it. Yeah. And, you know, he's got a huge overhead cost, but he recouped that quickly.
I'm sure
Yeah,
he did.
And then all profit.
People love popcorn.
So another interesting thing that I've found about the movie theater popcorn, there's been a lot of talk about in today's world, for the sake of flavor, that lots of companies are putting in huge amounts of fat, sugar, sodium, that kind of thing.
Right.
Just to make their popcorn a little more addictive, to make it taste really good.
Yep.
And one particular example that was cited in the articles that I read was a Center for Science in the Public Interest. They did a study in the 90s about movie theater popcorn. And the movie theaters they surveyed used coconut oil to pop the corn
Okay.
and then topped it with butter or margarine. And on average, the medium-sized buttered popcorn at the theaters that they all went to, which were different theaters, different chains and stuff like that, they found it on average to contain more fat than a breakfast of bacon and eggs, a Big Mac and fries, and a steak dinner combined.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah. And according to dietfacts.com, which sounds like a hokey website, I'm just going to throw that out there. They're saying that the Regal Cinema Group, which is the largest movie chain in the U.S., their small bag of popcorn, their small popcorn, still contains about 29 grams of saturated fat.
Saturated fat, 29 grams
Yeah, so that's the equivalent of a day and a half's worth.
of your recommended daily allowance of.
If you're based on a 2,000 calorie diet.
Oh,
It's a day and a half's worth of in that small popcorn of saturated fat.
Oh, and can you just imagine? People are getting like the ginormous ones, the buckets. You buy the bucket and then you go back every single time.
Because you get a better deal.
You get a better deal. So you're like, I need this bucket full again and I pay less. So great.
And there's a couple of local chains here in Utah that like you can get a perma bucket. It's like a plastic popcorn bucket or something, and the plastic drink cups.
Yeah.
And you pay like $15 for both of those, or $20 or something like that. And your refills are like only $1.
Yeah, they're
or sometimes
damn
they're
cheap.
free.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. So it was funny though, because it followed up with studies conducted by the Motion Picture Association of America found that the average American only attends 6 movies a year. So basically, it's okay that the movie theater popcorn is so terrible for you because it's a rare treat.
Well, okay. I understand. They have their interests in mind.
Right.
So I get where they're trying to come from.
Which is why that stuff's so good, and maybe why I can only stand about 2 handfuls of it.
It's so good. Yeah, I can't eat too much of it either, because then it gets cold after a while and then
Yeah, it's gross.
kind of gets stale.
Yeah. So another interesting fun fact about popcorn is that there's a lot of popcorn grown in the Midwest of the United States.
Yes, there is.
Starting to be more in Texas too.
Okay.
But there are 6 locations in the U.S., let's be surprised, that call themselves the popcorn capital of the world.
Oh, they're trying to claim it.
6 different places in the U.S. claim that they are the popcorn capital of the world. And I'll tell you, when I was reading about popular popcorn treats in other countries, I am with Peru.
Wait, what do they do in Peru?
They put candy in it.
Ooh.
And drizzle it with sweetened condensed milk.
Yum.
I'm down with that.
That's
They
delicious.
put little chocolate pieces in there.
Oh, so the chocolate kind of melts and gets all...
I'm all about that.
I love the sweet. I love the sweet salty, actually. The kettle corn.
Kettle corn. It's good.
It's delicious.
But can you imagine just like pulling out like an M&M?
Yeah.
I'd like that.
So
I'd like popcorn more if I did that.
My friend Jamie, she does something that I'm like, really? She's like, oh yeah, this is the combination I always do. She does popcorn, and it's like, regular salted popcorn with some, yummy buttery spray of some sort. And she pairs it with hot tamales.
Oh.
It's pretty good.
Okay.
Like
I can see that.
a little sweet, salty, and kind of some heat too. And I thought that was kind of good.
Nice.
Just
Nice.
fun and different. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, so South America, they're all about, Brazil does it too. They drizzle the
sweet condensed milk.
Sweet condensed milk on it. They do a lot of salty, buttery stuff too. Argentina's kind of the same way. They'll put candy with it. So I'm with them.
I've seen...
so I don't think that these 6 cities in the U.S. are the popcorn capitals of the world. Looking at you, Ridgeway, Illinois, Valparaiso, Indiana, Van Buren, Indiana, Schaller, Iowa, Marion, Ohio, and Northrop, Nebraska.
It's probably just because they make a lot. I wonder which place produces the most popcorn.
Well, it's the official state snack of Illinois.
Good job for them.
So I don't know what our official state snack is. I know Utah has
we have an official cooking dish.
Yes, it's the Dutch oven.
It's the Dutch oven. We've talked about that.
We have an official state gun, which
we
kind of tells you, yes.
We do?
It doesn't please me. Kind of tells you about who's running the state.
Okay.
Let's see. We've got a lot of weird state things. I don't know if we have a state snack or not. I will look that up.
We should look that up. That's good fun history.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was so extensive.
Let's talk about the fun science.
Okay. This part I got super excited about. It's actually very simple, I think. Personally, I think it's very simple.
Okay.
So every single piece of popcorn, there's kind of some different parts to it. And they're all very important to how popcorn is actually popped.
Okay.
Kind of, I would say personally, in my opinion, in just reading through this, is that the pericarp, which is the outside, it's this tough outer shell that surrounds the entire popcorn kernel.
It's called the what?
The pericarp. So peri means around, and then carp. Oh, what's
a yucco fish?
No. It's no. I'm just trying to think of the medical terminology. I'm going to look it up. I'm so sorry. I should know this.
Wait, medical terminology? Carp?
Yeah.
All right.
It means wrist. Carpal. Yeah. It's not great. But pericarp is this outside.
The shell?
The shell.
Okay.
And there's a couple things that are very important about this particular shell. It is tough and it is very non-porous.
Okay.
So you're not getting a lot of things coming in or absorbing moisture or something like that.
Right. It doesn't get dirt and protects it from bacteria.
Yeah. So inside the pericarp is the germ or the seed embryo. Okay. So, and then inside the germ is this endosperm, which contains some trapped water, plus you have some soft and hard starch granules. We love starch because it does a lot of cool stuff. So this is kind of all the things that are involved in this. So once again, pericarp, the endosperm, and then the germ. Okay, so now what happens is that when a popcorn kernel is heated, the trapped water in that endosperm turns to steam. So like you start at 100 degrees and it starts to boil. If you think about it, it starts to create steam. And so you build up a pressure. And as we know, like think about it, your Instant Pot or my Instant Pot or a pressure cooker, right? You are using the steam, you're boiling the water or the moisture in there so that it creates steam to build up pressure so you can cook things faster. Okay. So this is kind of what happens is that because it's starting to steam in there and get warmer, the starch inside the kernel gelatinizes. It softens up, becomes really pliable, and it just keeps building the pressure because that's kind of what a pressure cooker does. It builds pressure. Okay, so the internal pressure of the entrapped steam continues to increase until you reach a breaking point and of the hull. So that pericarp, the hull needs to break, and there is a specific point where it breaks, and usually they say the pressure at that point is about 135 psi, pounds per square inch for those people. And then temperature, and most of the temperatures that everybody states is 180 degrees Celsius. If you do if it's 10 degrees cooler, you're going to have some popping, but it's not going to be great. So this is kind of the thing that happens is the hull ruptures. So you see that split in it. And then all of a sudden the water vapor releases because now it's been able to escape. It's like popping a cork on a champagne bottle.
Okay.
It's able to release. And then there is, because of that, the starch and the proteins in the endosperm, they kind of create this airy foam or this flake that they call. And that is what spills out. Like, I don't know.
Nice.
And then when it hits
once the pericarp is broken,
the steam escapes. And then that lovely starch, that gelatinized starch gets exposed to kind of a cooler air and solidifies. So it expands, solidifies. Then you have your pretty little
fluffed
corn. Yep. It's so cool. Have you ever seen popcorn being popped in slow motion?
No, not in slow motion.
It is so cool.
I've watched it popping on the stovetop. I've done it before.
Yeah. I'm going to put a couple of links in the show notes. Well, there's one by the slow-mo guys on YouTube, and they're really funny. A couple of Brits that just do slow-mo videos, and they're so funny. But they do popcorn, and it is really amazing because then you see the split of the hull, and then all of a sudden you see something that I'm going to talk about in just a little bit. But there's a couple of scientists that talk about a leg, quote unquote, a leg. So the part of this gelatinous material of the endosperm that kind of pushes out to create a little leg, which pushes your popcorn into a spinning motion, right? Because you usually see it pop.
Oh, right. You're right. But that's what it's doing in slow motion.
Yeah, it's really cool. So I'm going to post a link in the show notes so you guys can watch that because it's really, really super fun. So now Lee, when I was telling him about all this popcorn stuff, he's like, so there is how much moisture is in this corn? Because popcorn is very specific. When it's harvested, it has about 20% weight of water in it. That is not the ideal water percentage for popcorn. It's actually around 13.5 to 14%. And so they obviously, when they harvest it in the fall, they go ahead and pull off some of the moisture by drying it, dehydrating it so that it gets to the 14% that you want it to be. Because that is the ideal way to get your ultimate like popping, full kerneled experience, I guess.
Nice.
Yeah, it's pretty fun to kind of watch that happen. So a couple of things that I thought was so that's just the basic information. Now I do want to talk about a paper because I like scientific papers. I think they're super fun.
Yeah.
In 2015, a couple of gentlemen in France, Emmanuel Viro and Alexander Ponomarenko, they wanted to basically know what they were curious about popcorn. They wanted to know the critical temperatures of when things happen, when things burst open, that type of thing, how it jumps. They wanted to look at the physics, basically, of how popcorn jumped and the sound. Okay, because you can hear the pop, right?
Right.
In the past, nobody's really been able to point out, like, I think everybody kind of knew the temperature range, generally the temperature range, but they didn't quite know how the jump happened. And they didn't really quite know how what the sound was of. A lot of people would say it was the hull breaking, that pericarp breaking.
Oh.
But
what is this?
so they go through this paper, they do an introduction, they talk about popcorn and how it reaches up. And they get into this. There are equations. And if you are into that, there are fun equations that you can calculate. But the thing that I thought was interesting was the popcorn jump. Let me talk about this popcorn jump. And I mentioned, so once that flake forms, it pushes out, like the break happens in the hull, and then the starch expands, which creates this leg, and they call it a leg, like a leg on a person.
Okay.
But the popcorn creates a leg, which pushes and basically ricochets, flips. Yep, it's doing a somersault. And they even have a picture of a slow motion picture, not a slow motion, like frame by frame of the popcorn doing the same thing. And then they compare it to a somersaulter guy.
Nice.
Like, it's pretty, I'm like, I kind of like, it's pretty impressive that they have that same kind of like the leg bouncing and how it pushes the popcorn up and around and somersaulting. Yeah. That one's a fun picture. I was like, oh, that was really smart. They did also the sound. They thought, where's the sound coming from specifically? Because that is a little bit, is it when the hull breaks? Is it what is that? So they also did a high speed camera and as well as a high end microphone 30 centimeters away from the hot plate. And they synchronized it with a high speed camera. And there was no sound recorded when the popcorn first opened. So when that hole broke, there's no sound.
Wow.
So we know that the cracking of the hole was not the culprit, but a second fracture was observed 100 milliseconds later.
Delay.
It was 6 milliseconds after the pop sound began. So that fracture was the water vapor release. So it's more of the water vapor release. So basically like when you pop a champagne cork, right?
Okay.
It's the water vapor releasing, not necessarily a breaking of anything. It's just the releasing of the pressure, which is the water vapor in this case. That one was pretty fun. That was a fun little article to go through.
I'm excited to watch this video.
Yeah. So I'll post that one. They don't have a video associated with their paper. Maybe there is. I might have to look for it, but I'll post a slow-mo guys ones because that one's really fun.
Because after learning about all that, I want to see.
Yeah, because you'll see it. Like in the slow-mo guys one, you see the leg that kind of appears, what they quote the leg, the first little bit of starch expansion that flips the thing over and around. So it's actually a pretty funny video because they keep getting splattered with oil.
Ouch.
Just because they were kind of close to it and just watching and kind of goofing off. They're pretty funny actually. Okay, so that was the main thing that I wanted to talk about the science because it's very simple. Think about it. It's just steam increasing your pressure. The pressure needs to escape so it breaks the thing that is holding it back. And that's why say pressure cookers blow up, right?
Yes. Yes.
I do want to talk a little bit about terminology because I did not know this about different shapes of kernels.
Oh.
Different shapes of the popped like the popped popcorn.
Oh, okay.
So
there's different kernels, all right.
Well, actually, they do say that any popcorn kernel that is round does a better job at giving you a good full flake.
Oh, okay.
So a popped kernel of corn is known as a flake, and there are generally two shapes that people are aware of. You're probably like, oh, I've seen that. I've eaten that before. So the butterfly, or it's also known as the snowflake, has kind of this irregular shape, but it basically mushrooms out and it has wings. Like it's very pretty. It's very fluffy looking.
Yep.
Okay. Then there's the other one and it's called the mushrooms.
It's the one that you get in the tins, right?
Yep.
It's like the circular round
Circular
thing
round
with
ones.
a little ruffle.
Yep. It's basically got a ruffle like a...
I don't like those ones as much.
Yeah. So obviously the ones that have wings are way more fragile. Right? They're not just, it's just not going to hold
They break
up.
easy.
Yep.
Like you can't pack them in.
Yep. So this is actually a really interesting design or maybe a food scientist thing that happened is that the mushroom ones, the mushroom shaped ones are the ones that get packaged commercially because of the fact they're less fragile because they are compact. They were popped, right? The starch is there, but it's more compact. You're not going to break off those wings of your, like a butterfly flake. And so, yes, they are the ones that are packaged in caramel corn, your Cracker Jacks,
right,
and that type of thing. So I just thought that was really interesting that there's some terminology in the popcorn world.
The mushroom and the
butterfly.
And the butterfly.
You can also call it the snowflake.
Okay.
Because it kind of looks like it's expanded wings or has many arms.
Different shapes.
Yeah, exactly. So I loved this topic. This was so fun, and now I want some popcorn.
All right.
Yeah, we should probably go get some.
How do you like your popcorn? You like the kettle corn?
I like the kettle corn, but I'll eat it always.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Ike likes to put the chip and dip seasoning from Penzies on it.
Oh, really?
It's kind of like a ranch flavor, but not quite. Yeah.
Totally love the Chicago style popcorn.
Oh, what's that?
It's a mixture of the cheesy popcorn with the caramel popcorn.
Oh, yeah. No, that's good.
Super sweet and savory.
Yeah, that's good.
And my sister, every single time she goes to Chicago, she's a flight attendant. She goes to Chicago and she brings stuff home whenever she goes to the airport. She gets it because it's usually there. And then she brings some home for us, which is super nice. You can kind of get that same style with the GH Creators popcorn that you can get at Costco. Have you seen those?
Oh, no.
You can totally get big bags of those for like $6. It's pretty awesome.
Okay.
I do love that. That is pretty tasty. I'll settle for that. just fine.
Nice.
How about you?
The buttery salts, but
Not very much.
Yeah, not very much. But if you put in the candy with it, because I've done that before, it was almost like a caramel corn with candy corns. I kind of melted the candy corns just slightly.
Oh, dang.
Put it in with the popcorn. And then I melted some more down so they were completely melted. And then I drizzled it over it. I'll eat that all day.
Yeah. Sweet and salty.
Yeah,
It's
sweet and
basically
salty.
salt. I love it. Yeah. Popcorn. Good stuff. Do you guys like popcorn?
Yeah, let us know. Let us know what kind of popcorn you make.
I've heard people do it with the Japanese. It's like a seaweed.
Oh,
Do you know what I'm talking about? It's
seasoning.
It's a seaweed seasoning with other
That's
flavors.
actually really good.
It's the same thing, kind of have a little umami
Mm-hmm.
flavoring. So I want to know what you guys like to eat because I love popcorn a lot. Lucy loves popcorn. Girlfriend loves popcorn.
Nice.
It's fun. Our podcast is brought to you by our awesome and food-loving sponsor, IKEA of Draper. We are super excited to partner with IKEA for their Make Room for Organization event. Specifically, are actually going to be hanging out the Draper one. Sharon's going to talk a little bit more about that. But if you go to your local IKEA, and you will be able to find out what they're planning on doing. This is going to be held Saturday, January 27th and Sunday, January 28th of this year, 2018, from 9:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. They have a lot of fun workshops, kind of hands-on things for basically the entire family. So
it's free.
Yeah, and it's free. They have some just cool stuff. They're going to have sweepstakes. So you're going to have to scan your IKEA family card. If you don't have one, you can sign up for free. It's really easy. And you can scan it to see if you win something as part of their sweepstakes. Like you could win $100 gift card.
I'm bringing mine because I'm going to scan it to see if I win.
know. At the IKEA Draper anyway, we're going to be doing Junk Drawer No More, Linen Closet Rescue. There's definitely going to be time to sample some Swedish food items. I mean, there's just going to be a lot of fun stuff.
Yeah, we will be there at the IKEA Draper location, which is in Utah, on Saturday, January 27th. We're doing Facebook Live and Instagram stories if you can't join us, but we would love to meet you in person if you can. And if you're on Facebook or Instagram around 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time on Saturday, January 27th, you can watch us at the Junk Drawer No More workshop.
And if you comment,
you can win some awesome prizes.
Yeah, some good organizational prizes. Like IKEA's.
They're doing a giveaway if you participate with us during the Instagram or Facebook.
Yeah, so join us there if you're not in state. We'd love to see you and just come wave hi. We'll probably ask a question about what your favorite organizational tool is or maybe your favorite organization tip. So kind of start thinking about that because we want to know. And we're going to start talking about it on air with our friends at IKEA. So join us then. And then we're going to also have Andrea Sorensen on. She works with IKEA and she is going to tell us her top 10 organization items that IKEA has that will help you get your life in order.
Awesome.
I know, it'll be so fun. Okay, we'll see you there.
Let's have a food fight.
Food fight, food fight, food fight, food fight.
This is the segment of our show where you can email us with your relationship problems relating to food. You can email us at hungrysquared@gmail.com.
Disclaimer, we are in no way professional relationship experts, but you should totally listen to us anyway. If you need professional help, please seek it out.
Food fight, food fight, food fight. The food fight segment of the show. Here we go.
Winter, do you have this week's question?
I do. So this is what it says. It says, "Hi, Sharon and Winter. It's the new year and my entire office is doing a weight loss competition, which I'm all for." That's good. Good job. The problem is one of my coworker friends has shared with me the diet, and she put diet as in quotes, she's going to try. And frankly, I think it's not healthy, possibly unsafe, and rather expensive. Should I say something to her? I'm concerned for her health. Yours truly, worried for a dieter.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that's tough.
Do you or don't you comment on somebody's eating habits?
Well, she said that I guess, I don't know when this competition starts for them.
I assume it's probably like a New Year's thing. There's a couple people around my work that are doing New Year's diets and more power to them. I have seen not a lot, but a few people lately who are dieters who just don't seem to be doing it right to me. Like extreme calorie
diets.
Limiting. Well, I only have 500 calories in a day, so obviously I'm going to lose weight. If it's something like that and this person's your friend, I would speak up but also know that they have their autonomy and they're going to do what they want to do.
Yeah. And
but I would consider your words that you say to them first, just in case they stay on this diet even after you talk to them.
right.
And just make sure you're coming from a place of love.
Right.
So, and not that you're trying to tell them what to do or anything like that.
Yeah. It is tricky because food is really personal to people, or
It is, for
Yeah.
sure. Like anything that someone eats. I don't know if you've been on Instagram lately or kind of seen this, but Chrissy Teigen, she came up with the Cravings cookbook a year or two ago, and she's
Mhm.
working on another one now.
Mhm.
And she posted an Instagram photo of corned beef and cabbage
Mhm.
and made a comment like she's cooking from her dad's side of the family today. And it was this great bowl of comfort food that she was cooking in her La Crusade. And a lot of people negatively commented on it.
Why?
And it's kind of the same idea as like Nigella Lawson has talked about before with food photos. Like comfort food doesn't photograph well.
Oh,
Brown food tastes really good, but it doesn't look pretty.
It
It's
doesn't.
not like the unicorn frappuccino.
no.
But food is very personal to people. And
Yeah.
Chrissy Teigen's response was really awesome. And it was just like, well, you weren't invited to dinner anyway. You know,
So there.
I
She
wouldn't
usually
invite
shuts
you.
down her haters pretty quickly.
Yeah,
And well, I
Awesome.
think.
But I think this is kind of the same thing. Like when you're a kid in the school cafeteria and people are like, ew to your food, you know, because it's food your mom made and
Yeah,
it's different from their Wonder Bread sandwich
exactly.
or their pizza from the cafeteria or something. And I think diets are kind of the same, you know, it's a very personal decision whether or not you go on this diet and eat this food from a Slim Fast shake to whatever it is. You
Right.
know?
It is tricky because I have seen friends do some kind of questionable, I guess, diets.
Mhm.
And I'll say this too. I've probably done some questionable dieting type things as well. And so I probably don't have any room to speak. But if you are, I think you need to choose your words wisely. I was going to suggest something that if she hasn't started, it sounds like she's in on the weight loss competition. She's going
Right.
to try and
She's participating.
she's participating. She's going to do something. And it sounds like maybe she's hopefully going to be doing a little bit of a healthier approach. I don't know what that
Mhm.
is. Ultimately, there needs to be some sort of calorie restriction or increase in activity. I mean, there's a lot
Or
of things.
Usually a combination of both.
Yeah. But if she has something that she can share that is healthy, she can maybe just say, hey, why don't you try this with me? Like because unfortunately some of those like super unhealthy diets or the ones that are not safe or are costing an arm and a leg, I mean, that's not sustainable
Right.
for a long time.
Right.
And who knows how long this weight loss competition is. I think a lot of those ones at the beginning of the year for offices are 2 months or something like that.
Right. Just
It's a long
short
time. And they might fall off the wagon. So this might be one of those things where you're like, hey, oh, okay, well, that didn't work for you. Do you want to start doing this with me? We can be weight loss buddies or whatever. So you can bring
Yeah.
her along on your weight loss.
Or just show her a healthier way. Like if you don't
Yeah.
necessarily need to lose weight, make her, say, I'm going to try this healthy cook, I'm going to do a Whole30 or I'm going to, use more plants, like maybe like a forks
Mhm.
over knives vegan approach or something like that.
Yeah.
And just incorporate more plants into your diet.
Yeah.
And then you can kind of lead her stealthily, but healthily along.
Yeah. I mean, and you'll have a good influence if she's a friend. Like people that are trying to diet or maybe have, gone on a lot of diets are always trying to look for the next thing. I don't know if that makes
Yeah.
sense. I'm
Chronic dieters.
I've always been a chronic dieter. I've always just been a little overweight all my life. And so that's what I do. I'm just kind of like, oh, how did you lose the weight? Let's talk about it. So
Grapefruit.
yeah,
I'm in.
Yeah, exactly. So we're I'm going to just say this from experience that like, I know I'm super facetious and I'm all over the place. I'm like, oh, you did that? Okay, I'm going to try. Do you know what I'm saying? Like I kind of go with what is happening. And so if you are a good influence on her, then you can maybe help her get to a place that's healthier and is not going to cost her an arm and a leg,
Right.
That's what I would say.
Good idea.
I think talking to them about being wise with your words is
Mm-hmm.
very always
You don't want to
appropriate.
ruin a friendship.
No.
If she's truly your friend, like you don't want to ruin friendship and you want to know that is it still going to be okay if she does that diet, even if you say something?
Yeah.
And so just be okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, support her in any way that you can.
Yeah.
And I think this is good that you're supporting her because you're concerned.
Yeah. And if you truly think it's unsafe, like she's taking supplements or something that are toxic or something, say something about that. Please say something about that. Like,
yeah.
those things can ruin your body. So just be careful. There's stuff and unfortunately there's not a lot of data on some of these supplements. So just, you can use that as a jumping off point if needed. I don't know.
Yes. John Oliver has a good Last Week Tonight episode about vitamins.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
If you need some fodder, if she's taking vitamins.
Searching vitamins, huh? Okay. Well, good luck with that. Support your friend. That's really nice of you.
Yep. Good luck. Thanks for joining us today on our podcast. You can find us at hungrysquared.com, not .coms, on iTunes, Stitcher, and Google Play Music.
You guys, once again, we are super excited to partner with IKEA on January 27th, 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. So tune into Facebook Live and our Instagram Live. All you have to do is jump onto those platforms around 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, and you'll see it says go live, or it'll have something at the very top that says this person is live. And all you have to do is click on the video or the little icon with our faces, our cute faces.
Yeah.
And you're joined.
Yeah, watch us.
Yeah. And you can add comments and you can put little hearts and smiley faces or thumbs down, whatever. If you guys are like, you need to talk more about this, put that in the comments so we can talk more about it.
And we'll be at the Junk Drawer No More workshop. So you can kind of watch it with us.
Yeah, it's your kitchen junk drawer, people. We're trying to help you get organized this year, so it'll be fun. Okay, well, join us then, and join us next week for our next episode of Food Nerdery.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Bye.
Hungry squared, yeah, hungry squared.